Have the day off, but safety Tyrann Mathieu decided to punch a clock elsewhere. He took his talents and his foundation to raising canes in Metairie, putting in a shift to serve fans. Proceeds from their time on the job went to Mathieu's foundation. Mathieu said he appreciates the support he continues to receive from the fans.
I think it's always been like that, really for as long as I can remember. I think a lot of people in Louisiana have always been that kind of way. We always find, a way to celebrate, our own and support our own too.